Hello everyone, bonjour à tous, здравствуйте, hola, this is Samhita and I'm going to talk about the mind as an intangible entity today. So what is the mind? Different professionals like philosophers, cognitive scientists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and lay people have defined the mind in several different ways, but they all agree that it is not tangible. It is an intangible entity. It's a concept that has been created, conceptualized by humans, because humans have this unique ability, which is language. So why is it so important to understand your mind and understand that the mind is very powerful? Actually, it's more powerful than the body, than your physiology. So the mind is actually a little bit mysterious because we don't know much about why it works the way it works. Why does the mind work the way it works? There's more questions than answers, that's for sure. So the mind is intangible. It has no form, it has no like tangible structure, you can't touch it. It's not like a building with 2-3 different stories, although you can think about the mind having different layers, like the superconscious, the unconscious, the subconscious, and the conscious. And there's also something called the fringe conscious, just below the tip of the iceberg, just below the conscious level. So we can only theorize about the structure of the mind. Some call it, it's similar to an iceberg, they say. And some people prefer to refer to the mind as an onion, and every time you peel off the outer layer, there's something else inside. And then when you peel it all off, what happens? There's no onion anymore. So at the end of the day, it's energy. It's actually nothing. Like, it's all energy, frequency. So these are some of the ways in which we can talk about the nature of the mind. But why is the mind so difficult to understand? Because it's not an object that you can dissect and kind of untangle, you know what I mean. So it's an enigma. It's definitely pretty enigmatic, because have you noticed the moment you want to recall something from your memory so hardly, so badly, it hardly helps, right? So the harder you try to recall something from your memory, we call it the tip of the tongue phenomenon. The harder you try, the more difficult it is for that memory to pop out into your onto the surface of your consciousness. So it's not like pushing an object, and the harder you push a heavy object, the more likely it is that the heavy object moves, right? But the mind is not like that. You will have to let go and just mind wander for a bit, and then voila, all of a sudden you get answers. Makes sense, doesn't it? So there's an aha moment, there's an insightful moment where you suddenly remember who you wanted to mention, or whatever you wanted to mention. So all of a sudden it just comes out like out of thin air, and you didn't try to push harder, you didn't try, you just let go, and then you got the answer. So the working of the mind is not like the workings of physical objects. So this is one of the things that's really fascinating. And the mind is is like the sky. It's limitless actually, and we're just scratching the surface when it comes to understanding or gaining a broader and deeper understanding of this particular cognitive jewel. So that's what the mind is. And also one more thing is, can you actually predict what you're going to think tomorrow at exactly this time? No, I don't think most people can, because the mind follows something called stochasticism, which is indeterminate. You cannot know what's going to pop in or what's going to pop up into the surface of your consciousness. You cannot really know for sure. You can't know for like 100% that yes, this is what I'm going to think, this is exactly the thought I'm going to get tomorrow or in the next half an hour. These are the thoughts I'm going to be thinking. So I will leave it here, and I will continue in another episode, consecutive episode. But for now, I just want to say that the mind matters, and the matters of the mind are things that matter. But the mind is just so non-mattery. I don't know what you call that. The mind is so inaccessible sometimes, like the inner workings of the mind, the laws of the mind. It's pretty unreachable, you know. When you're searching for the answer vehemently, you don't actually get it. So that's why it's not physics, it's quantum physics.